back of all time, baby.
You already know what it is, man. We out here cooling it on the jet skis, man.
We out here getting it, baby. Give my man money.
You already know.
That's got to be Miami.
Oh, yeah, no, it said it. Miami.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and late night, Monday night in Miami, he was on stage at a club rapping. A buddy of mine that works some doors at some places sent me a video. Listen, he's not under contract. He's clearly not showing up till week 10. But he's enjoying his extended
There's
time.
some negotiating going on. That's how you want to negotiate with the team, to have your buddy say something, pan over to you.
Who's the dude he's hanging out with?
Just a random.
No, I think someone rolled up on it,
Yes.
took the video and sent it to TMZ.
Yeah.
I don't think that's the guy he was with.
I'm sure that's endearing him to all the guys who are 0-1-1 in Pittsburgh and trying to find a way to win. Make me excited.
Go ahead, Nick. Tell him how you build team morale.
He is an independent contractor that the team decided not to invest in long term. He is well within his rights not to sign that franchise tag. The team, if they think it's a bad thing, they can rescind the tag. They don't want to. In the meantime, he can go enjoy himself.
Yeah, well, there's going to be 31 other teams seeing that same post going, oh, wow, he really takes his football thing seriously.
So listen, maybe you'll be proven right, and maybe after this season, 31 teams are going to say, you know what, we don't want him. My guess is, if he can get through the last 6 games of the year healthy, he's going to get the money that he's looking for.
This is what you want, Nick, and I think you're missing this. You want to be with the winner. Like, he's going to get paid, but you'd like to be playing in games that are relevant.
Yeah.
On national TV, like he's been doing with the Pittsburgh Steelers. So Coach is right. Yeah, there's other places you can go in the league, but there's also a lot of bad spots to go to.
Right.
The good organizations, though, they will be looking all
And you want to see someone who's really serious about their craft. The season is going on. Let's say the Steelers came back and said, we'll give you what you want. And he comes in after being on the jet ski and hang out the yacht in Miami. Like, it's just not going to happen.
They got gyms in Miami.
You want to be, well, get in one and take that video.
Yeah.
Nick knows how to train
Coach.
to get ready for the season.
No,
you don't do that in Miami. Don't do that.
I'm
don't
not
do
saying
that.
You don't have to.
Well, you don't have to what? When's it ever been done?
When's
you
what
don't have
ever
to,
been done?
Not train.
I think he is training. He is training. The fact that he spent some time on jet ski doesn't mean he's not training.
What about
Let's
the
see how
month
he
of the
looks.
season? What about your numbers for the first month of the season?
Let's see how he looks, Mike. And by the way, franchise, he'll be with Andrew Luck next year. The Colts will be better, and he'll have his money. I mean, that's how I think this thing's going to end. We'll see. We'll see. Maybe he'll be out of the football.
You said that last year he was going to get a contract. I told you they wasn't going to give him a contract.
I didn't. Check the tape.
All right, let's move on to Josh
Check the tape.
Absolutely.
Coach Josh Gordon passed his physical, making the trade to New England officially official. So he is available to play Sunday when the team heads to Detroit. Pat's coming off a loss to the Jaguars where they could have used a little more firepower at that wide receiver position. Bill Belichick said they will have to see how it goes with Gordon, who continues to struggle with substance abuse. Coach, how hard is it for any receiver to learn this system, much less the Patriots system, in such a short period of time?
The hard thing for evaluating this is I don't know Josh's ability as a learner. And without knowing that makes it really difficult because there's some guys that can come in on a Wednesday, can pick things up, can play in a role on Sunday and play really well. But usually those guys are veteran players who have years of experience, who can equate the things that they did at other teams to what you're doing at the new team.
Coach, question
and get
for
it
you.
through.
Do you think more of those players are on defense compared to playing on offense? Because it's easier to maybe pick out a role on a defense than it would be maybe as a wide receiver. If he was an interior lineman, a guard or something like that, would you say that, or you say just across the board?
Yeah, well, I think it depends on the type of person and the type of pro, because I've seen it go both ways, offensively and defensively, but it's got to be someone who has a wealth of knowledge of systems, who can equate things back. And Josh has missed so much time, he doesn't have that built-up experience. And then New England's not the type of place where they're going to accommodate you. You need to fit into the system. Now, that being said, they may find a role where you can help the team win, like Cordarrelle Patterson.
So what does that look like for Josh Gordon, in your opinion? Let's assume football IQ-wise, since we don't know, let's just assume it's average. Whatever the league median football IQ is, assign it to Josh. Maybe his is worse, maybe his is better. Let's just assign him average. You know what his physical skills are, even from just this week of football or the tail end of last year when he played 5 games. We have an idea of where he is physically. Assign him an average football IQ. What does the role look like in New England Sunday?
small to maybe being inactive.
Yeah,
You know,
I wouldn't play him.
Yeah.
And you asked me the question earlier. I didn't have an answer. Thinking about it for over an hour, I wouldn't play him, and that would be my expectations. If anyone went to the New England Patriots during the season, I wouldn't expect them to be playing wide receiver. I know how difficult it is. I've talked to the wide receivers that have been there, and I shouldn't change the expectations. If they traded for OBJ, I would be like, now, I think they can do something with him this week, but I don't know if he's going to be active. I could also see him returning punts this week for New England. So I wouldn't, if there's no other receiver in the league that I would have them active in a role, why would I say that Josh Gordon would be active and in a role? So for me, he wouldn't be active. Like, he wouldn't be active. I would give him at least 2 weeks to determine what he's going to do, and then I might take another week and bring him back when I bring Amendola, when Edelman comes back.
Right.
When Edelman comes back after 4 weeks, bring Josh back and give him 2 weeks to learn, and let the NFL try to guard that.
Which I think that would be the case maybe in an ideal situation, but this is a team desperate for help at the wide receiver position. Would you not at least find some small package that you could use him?
Well, you can,
it's just
but
not that easy.
Yeah, he's got to be accountable. And Tom Brady had, I think it was EEI, there's an interview earlier this week where he talks about what he looks for from players and that accountability and being in the right spot. And he never talks about receivers in terms of what their ability is. It's what their accountability is. And can they be in the right spot? Can they make the read? Can they? There's pass protection issues because receivers have hots and sights if blitzes come. He wants all those things because it allows him to focus on his job because he's not spending time fixing everybody else's job. So it's a delicate balance.
There's one word that Tom Brady's been consistent, and that's through all the receivers, regardless of what talent. And it's about trust. It's not how quick you can get out your break. Can I trust you? When we call this, that you're going to look at it and see it the same way. And that's why wide receivers have had a tremendous job. They have struggled tremendously in trying to transition to who New England is and trying to play a prominent role. And I'm just trying to be responsible. We shouldn't be looking at Josh any different than we've looked at these other players. And he's getting there once the season's already started. He doesn't have the advantage of an off season or a training camp, which Kenny Britt had, or Decker even had a few weeks in training camp. So it's just not realistic. If New England is what it is, how would we expect someone in 3 practices to be able to get up and be responsible?
So let me ask you a question from the defensive perspective. Whenever he's active, assuming at some point he is active, that this works out to a degree at least where he's on the active roster and he plays in a game, what does Josh Gordon open up? Because I said earlier, and Cris disagreed, that I thought he could open some things up for Gronk, that it's harder to double Gronk seemingly every play like Jacksonville did if Josh Gordon's out there on the outside. Whether it's this week or the week after, what does he open up when he gets out there for the rest of the offense?
Well, it's different than Randy Moss. And look, I made the mistake against Randy Moss in the first game of the season of he had those 2 down years. He didn't play in the preseason. I didn't pay enough respect to Randy Moss. And he smoked us for 180 yards. And look, I'm still getting over it. But this is different than Josh Gordon because
Randy Moss at that time had over 10,000 yards before he got to New England.
Yeah, he had that track record. And then he had the couple down years. Josh doesn't have that track record, so it's a function of you respect his ability. You respect those things, but he hasn't been productive on a consistent basis. So you still got to handle Gronk, and you still got to handle the backs out of the backfield. You've got to handle those things first until he proves that he can be a valuable part of that system.
Yeah, they're just going to guard him just like anyone else. But it's hard to play fast when you don't know what you're going to do. And we need to equate a lot more respect for what it takes to play the game. And also, let's not forget, it's a collision sport. So if you don't know where you're going and your teammates can't trust you, that's not the New England way. So for me, he wouldn't be active because I don't see him being able to make a contribution the way New England wants to and the way they take advantage of the 52-man roster better than anyone else on game day. I think it's reasonable to think that he would be inactive.
All right, thanks so much. Coach, our condolences for that Randy Moss loss. Really sorry about that. Didn't know you were still harboring such ill Will
get
and
over it.
thoughts?
Ran across the field.
Yeah.
Yeah, good
bad.
coverage. Dude caught it with one hand.
Double
Gotta take a
coverage.
break.
Double coverage.
Yeah.
Coming up, can anyone knock off
I
Nick
literally
Saban
got
in
balls.
Alabama? That's next on First Things First.
Did literally get ball.
I did.
Yep.
Took it off my